So what are the main side effects of semaglutide? There's four main ones: nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation. The most popular or common, not popular, but the most common side effect is going to be constipation, and that is largely due to the mechanism of action of semaglutide in the first place. So the GLP-1 hormone, I've mentioned in other videos, slows down the gastric system, and when the gastric system slows down, well, your motility slows down, right? So everything goes and moves a lot slowly, a lot more slowly, a lot slower. And that can cause some constipation. And if you're already prone to constipation, it can become real problematic. Another thing that semaglutide does is it reduces your hunger, but it also reduces your thirst mechanism, right? So you don't drink as much water. You have to be very intentional about how much water you drink and make sure that you're drinking enough, because you need that water to move things through the gut. It's really, really important. So make sure that you prioritize eating healthy, good food and drinking lots of water. The other thing to consider at this time is to add fiber into your diet, because that will help the motility, help things keep moving. And any type of peristalsis movement is good. So how can you do that? Well, just walking or running will move things through your system. So it's a great way to improve motility in the gut. If it gets really, really bad, you might need to go down on the dose. You might need to add agents to help with motility. You certainly don't want to get impacted. That's at low doses. That's not really a huge concern, but getting impacted has its own beast in and of itself. So you certainly don't want that. Ideally, you should be having a bowel movement once a day. And if you're not having a bowel movement once a day, you're holding on to toxins. And when you hold on to toxins and they're not removed daily, that causes other issues. So it's really important to have a bowel movement every day and to find ways to have one. You might need to do a GI detox program or liver detox program, or get something to help you bind and remove toxins from the body. Like an activated charcoal. So Quicksilver Scientific has an activated charcoal that you can do with their liver sauce. It's called a push catch. So it pushes out toxins and then the binder catches them, and it's hard not to go to the bathroom every day because that just runs through you. And then nausea, that is a very, very common symptom as well. And different people have different degrees of it, and you do get used to it. So, when I first started semaglutide, the nausea was like, oh God, I'm like, don't even talk about food. I don't even want to think about food. And now, I just don't think about food all that much, but I don't get nauseous around food, which is really nice because it's an unpleasant feeling. But a lot of times that is just due to the dose. So if you're having a lot of side effects, your dose is probably too high. And there's no reason to increase the dose if you're losing weight at at a lower dose. I mean, just having more of a hormone is not better. Like, you always want to take the lowest possible dose of a hormone where you're getting results. So if you're up at 2.5 milligrams and you're still not losing weight, one, you need to be looking at other causes, like why aren't you losing weight? There's some sort of weight loss resistance going on here that needs to be addressed, but you don't want to be up at 2.5 milligrams just because you're following some random protocol. It needs to be personalized to you. And if a lot of people just lose weight at 0.25. I mean, I think maybe a couple of times, a handful of times in the course of a year, I took a 0.5 dose, but for 90% of my semaglutide journey, I lost all the weight at 0.25 milligrams. Of course, I did do some other things. I did thyroid replacement, testosterone replacement, so that helped, and then that helped me get motivated, and I joined the gym and started playing squash and all these other things. So now it was a cascade event. So it wasn't just the semaglutide, but being on the semaglutide and the testosterone and the thyroid allowed me to maintain the weight loss at the lowest possible dose. So that was really nice. But yeah, those are the main side effects. Nausea, vomiting. Vomiting really only occurs if your dose is too high. and that's certainly unpleasant, but it is a transient. It will pass. And diarrhea, I haven't seen too many people get diarrhea, but it's certainly a possibility. Most people get constipated, not diarrhea. So that might be something to look into if you're getting that. And we'll talk about some of the other major, they're not side effects, but medical concerns that are associated with semaglutide.